Hi, I'm Rick Gitzkowicz, co-founder of Productive Learning and Leisure and creator of Quote Actions. In this segment of our How to Use LinkedIn series, I will be covering the topic of the right and the wrong way to ask for introductions on LinkedIn. One of LinkedIn's most powerful features is the ability to get introduced to people's connections from those people who are in your network. Whether it's a direct connection, a second-degree connection, or a connection through their connections, which is called a third-degree connection, that's a very powerful feature. However, for it to work, you must do it the proper way. And the proper way is by bringing a giver's gain approach. And to use an analogy is imagine having a checking account where what you need to do before you can start writing checks is to make deposits and have some money into the account. Well, using that analogy, you must have some social capital deposits with the people you're going to be asking for introductions. Otherwise, it's probably not going to work. So bring the giver's gain approach. Keep in mind that what's really at risk when you're asking somebody to introduce you to somebody else is their credibility or their reputation. If the interaction goes poorly with you, for whatever reason, then that conduits, the person who introduced you, their reputation, their credibility will go down with their contacts. The flip side is also true. If it goes well, it will be enhanced. So keep that in mind when you are asking for introductions and when you are interacting with the people. You must provide value to both the conduit and the recipient. Again, pretty common sense. If you just go at it with what's in it for me, the likelihood that it's going to succeed or go well is not very high. But if you put yourself in the other person's shoes, both the person who's going to provide the introduction as well as the person who's going to receive the introduction, you're going to be much more likely to provide value and be successful with the interaction. You must make it easy for the conduit to make the introduction. The easier you make it for them, the more likely they're going to do it. That's just human nature. And lastly, be sure to express your gratitude to the person who's making the connection. It's pretty obvious, but sometimes we'll forget. So with that in mind, I am going to give you an example of wanting to be connected to a gentleman named James Krushak. All right, so what I'll do is let me go into LinkedIn. I'm going to go, here's my home account, home page. If you don't know how to get there, click on the home icon on the left, upper left corner. And then I typed in already the name of the person I want to be connected to. I'm going to do a search for that and find out if anybody in my network is in there. I see a number 2. He's a BNI executive director, and that's why I want to be introduced to them. And here you have a Get Introduced feature. So I will click on that. And now it tells me who in my network is connected to James. I have 2 people, Beth Anderson and Bruce Hogue. I'm going to ask Bruce to introduce me to James. So I would highlight Bruce and I will click on continue and it's going to open this screen. All right, and it's a message. It says request for introduction. It's a message to the person you want to be introduced, James, from me. All right, include my contact information. You have the option. I'm going to put my email and my phone number here to do that. And then in the categories, you have several categories. And all the categories that James are interested for introductions are here. I have chosen a business deal. All right, and the subject is something of value to your BNI members. I will then proceed to craft a message to James using the criteria that I mentioned before. In this case, is I specialize in helping BNI members worldwide use LinkedIn to generate more referrals. I guarantee that I can help them triple the number of referrals they give and receive in their chapters by applying the concepts I teach and investing about 1 hour per week. One of the ways I do this is by growing my network with people from different industries. I'm looking for people in your industry. I'm certain we can both benefit from connecting on LinkedIn, and I've asked Bruce Hogue to introduce me to you so we can explore this. He's one of my trusted contacts and he can vouch for me. Feel free to also check my profile. Warmest regards, Rick. So that's my message to James. However, the message is not going to go directly to James, it's going to go through Bruce. And that's how the LinkedIn feature works. You send a message to your contacts, and then your contacts would forward that message. So I typed in my message to Bruce and says, Bruce, I would like an introduction to James from your LinkedIn network. He's an executive director with BNI, and I have a new program that would be very beneficial to his members. I can assure you he will be glad to hear about this program. Thanks for forwarding my message to him. Warmest regards, Rick. And then I would just send the message. And that's how it works. Now, a few other logistics on this. You are entitled to 5 introductions through LinkedIn with a free account. In other words, 5 introductions open at any given time. So as soon as somebody will accept the introduction, you now have another one that's open. If all 5 of them are out there at one time, then you can no longer send introductions through LinkedIn on the free account. However, there's another way for you to send that, and that is you would just do the same thing that you did. You would send a message to your contact. In this case, I would send a message outside of LinkedIn, say through my Gmail account to Bruce Hogue. I have his email. I would send it to him. I would say the same thing I said in LinkedIn. Please, I would like to be introduced to someone in your network. Would you please forward them this message? And then my contact, in this case Bruce, can just forward that along. So that's it for this segment. If you have any questions, you can send them via LinkedIn or send me an email at rick@productivelearning.com. Enjoy an extraordinary day.